Hi, I'm Nora. I also go by Nora or Noe, depending on who you ask, and I'm about to run 100 miles. All right, so let's talk about Javelina. Going headed off to Javelina 100. Simon always says Javelina. It is a 100-mile race in the desert just outside of Phoenix. And easy on paper, seemingly so, but deceptively difficult. I watched Simon struggle the year prior. There is incredible heat exposure up into the 90s with zero shade. And on top of that, it's actually one of the more competitive races. At Javelina each year, 2 golden tickets are given to the top 2 winners to be able to go to Western states. So you see professionals, like real professionals, running at this race. But I'm not a professional. So for the most part, you see other runners like myself will be dressed up and there to have fun. We are getting ready to start Javelina.
I'm nervous. I'm more nervous than if I was the one running it, and I want to support her as much as possible. I think the best way is to be with her as much as possible during the race. So when we go racing, I'll be with her the whole way.
We have a little butt thing going on.
Little butt. First date with Simon, we talked a lot about hiking, mountain adventures, being in nature.
Hi, Mom. I'm safe, don't worry about it. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hey guys. But then we quickly started to have a conversation about running, and unfortunately I spoke to an injury I had sustained running, had seen lots of doctors, lots of tests, lots of physical therapy, and the conclusion to that was that I would never be able to run again. So I love trail running because I feel like it connects me to a way to move in the mountains that absolutely felt like how I was when I was a kid.
Three, two, 1, let's go!
Like this feeling of being around nature, and yes, adventure too, but really like freedom. That felt really cool. My dad still to this day hikes and skis every year, and I join him. My mom worked for the Appalachian Mountain Club and wrote trail maps and hiking guides, and so there's just been that sense of joy and love for the outdoors within my family. So one memory that sticks out for me is, as a kid growing up, I was really fascinated and excited by mushrooms. But now that I've become a runner, my parents really love to tease me because of how slow I made them on our hiking trails because I had to stop at every single one. Yeah, another memory that sticks out pretty distinctively is a family trip or a hike we did with my brothers. I was maybe around 8 years old. My brothers were 12 and 14-ish. And I remember my parents were worried about me being able to keep up. But actually what happened is I ended up hiking up so quickly, beating everyone else, and then running down in front of everyone else just because I felt so at home in the mountain.
Summer 2021 has been extremely busy in a good way, but in 2 months we both got a new job. We moved from Massachusetts to California, bought our first car, bought our first home, and we got married. So in 2 months we became grown up, and through that, training through 100 mile is not necessarily easy.
So in preparing for my first 100 mile, there are many pieces to think about. So just thinking about the physical training, getting in shape for that, slow progression of mileage, aiming for about up to 60 miles a week, but also strength training and PT to help support my hip. Nutrition is always challenging when you're running for that many hours, but combine that with the heat, it becomes all the more difficult. So as a result, very specifically for this race, I made sure I was running in the middle of the day as much as I could in the desert and practicing eating. Into the second lap, that's when things started to feel real. Definitely starting to get into the heat of the day. Still feeling strong, but energy a little bit lower. Hip actually felt pretty good. I will say, through all of it, stomach was really the thing that started to hurt. I feel tired. We can run this time, Hill. Finishing up that second lap, I gave everything I could. Nausea just got worse and worse. Really a lot of pain in my stomach, a lot of nausea. After that first aid station around mile 45, oops, there goes my lunch, there goes everything.
The struggle was totally different. The pain was not within myself, the pain was seeing someone I love and care for struggling so much. I've seen people go through exactly that, and I knew the sequence of events, and I was extremely worried.
So you might think that throwing up at a race would be the worst part, or the low point of the race. But actually for me, it was the best part so far. As soon as I was done vomiting, I felt euphoric. I vomited, so now I feel better.
What I know is that when someone does that, they usually feel much better right away. It's a relief, but it's a ticking time bomb. And you need to make up for that. So I was trying to cheer her up and say, hey, don't you feel great? But at the same time trying to keep the pace down so that she could eat and drink and come back from it.
Yeah, so 20 miles later, lap 4, really struggling. We were essentially walking at that point, and I was really doing my best to eat, but I couldn't keep anything down.
I just wanted to say that I'm very proud of you, my love. You're doing amazing.
Really nervous, I couldn't eat. I was just like, oh my gosh, how can I keep going? How can I do it? That's just not possible. And so I was just, the negativity was not oh, I'm such a piece of crap. It was like, I can't do this. This is not possible. That was the kind of negativity it was. I was so afraid I couldn't do this. And in the yeah, I just felt like literally we were in the dark, and I felt like I was in the dark. Yeah, 81 miles in, I knew I couldn't finish. I knew I couldn't go any longer, and so I dropped. Yeah, not finishing made me feel pretty low. I mean, at first I was just so exhausted, and just at first just happy to, like, a moment of relief to rest, but it felt devastating. I felt like I didn't belong, felt like I wasn't strong enough.
I think she ran 81 miles. That's much more than most people I know. And there's really only one person I know that is disappointed with that. There's only one person I know that feels 81 miles was not enough. And I wish I was able to convince her that what she did was amazing.
So it's hard to drop, but it was the right decision. At the end of the day, that was the right decision for the day, because I want to think back to why I'm doing this, like, why trail run, why ultra run, and for me the why was like to have a lot of fun and be in nature, and I was really suffering for a very long time. I wasn't I farted mid-take, that's why I couldn't.
I heard.
Okay. Alright. So, you know, I started this journey sort of assuming that my hip would be the major obstacle or challenge that would prevent me from achieving my goals. But through training, I was able to overcome that. And while I didn't finish 100 miles or get a belt buckle, I feel like I've achieved my goals and then some. And that I'm able to be back out having adventures in the mountains, playing in nature just like when I was a kid. Just enjoying it and feeling that freedom again. So I'm getting a crown for myself. I got a crown for myself. Do they think I'm worth it? We're all royalty. I'm ready for my burger now. I'm ready.